Switzerland, Makarenko, ANA, Obasai, Belgium, Fillory, Great Britain, Siako, Poland, and Zbrasky, Poland. And there's woodwork all over the place, but it's Makarenko running well at the moment, but now Joseph gets past him off the final hurdle.
A small European nation with just 8.7 million people consistently beating athletic superpowers like the United States, Jamaica, and Kenya. Sound impossible? Well, Jason Joseph from Switzerland just proved it's not. On July 15, 2025, at the Allmend Stadium in Lucerne, Joseph clocked 13.07 seconds in the 110-meter hurdles. This wasn't just another fast time. This was his third time hitting this exact mark, equaling his own Swiss national record. But here's what makes this truly impossible. He did it while defeating Olympic champions and world record holders from much larger nations. Let's break down how a kid from Basel turned Switzerland into a hurdling powerhouse. Jason Joseph was born on October 11, 1998, in Basel, Switzerland. His Caribbean-Swiss heritage gave him athletic genes. But Switzerland isn't exactly known for producing world-class sprinters. At age 11, Joseph was trying everything: football, breakdancing, and martial arts. Track and field was just another sport to experiment with. He joined Kenya.Well, a local athletics club. Nobody expected this multi-sport kid to become one of Europe's fastest hurdlers. But Joseph had something different. He had that internal fire that athletes need to succeed. Why is this fire so important in Switzerland? Joseph explained it perfectly in a post-race interview.
I feel like Switzerland is not too big into sports, especially track and field. So if you really want to make it, that motivation, that effort really has to come from out of your heart.
Unlike the United States, Switzerland doesn't have massive collegiate systems or tough national trials. Joseph continued,
Big competition, you got them tough trials, and you have to beat the competition in your own country in order to participate for world championships and stuff, and we don't have that. So if you really want to be good, you need that extra type of motivation, and I think that's...
This lack of internal competition might seem like a disadvantage, but Joseph sees it differently.
That's what sets us apart from countries that got real competition.
Yeah. Joseph's first major breakthrough came in 2017 at the European U20 Championships in Grosseto, Italy. He won gold in the 110-meter hurdles, announcing himself as a talent to watch. 2 years later, in 2019, he claimed the European U23 Championship in Kenya.Well, Sweden. But senior-level success remained elusive. Joseph turned professional 6 or 7 years ago, but the path wasn't smooth. He reflected on his journey.
I turned professional about 6 years ago, 7 years ago, something like that. And I don't know, I think about 4 years ago, I felt like, okay, I could really be on top, but it hasn't really worked out. But since 2 years, I really believe that, or I really know that I can do what I'm doing right now, so...
The real breakthrough came at the 2023 European Indoor Athletics Championships in Istanbul. Joseph won the 60-meter hurdles title, setting a new Swiss record of 7.41 seconds on March 5th, 2023. This wasn't just a personal best, it was a statement that he belonged among Europe's elite. His outdoor personal best followed later that year. On August 31st, 2023 in Zurich, Joseph clocked 13.08 seconds in the 110-meter hurdles. This time, established him as a genuine contender for major championships. Joseph represented Switzerland at both the 2020 and 2024 Olympic Games. Both times he reached the semifinals, a solid achievement for a Swiss hurdler. At the 2024 European Athletics Championships, he won bronze in the 110-meter hurdles, proving he could perform when it mattered most. But 2024 wasn't the breakthrough year he hoped for. Despite winning European bronze, Joseph struggled with consistency. He never ran faster than 13.25 seconds throughout the season. For an athlete with a personal best of 13.08, this was frustrating. Joseph knew he was capable of much more. The question was whether he could put it all together when it counted. Before we get to the impossible achievement in Lucerne, we need to talk about Monaco. Sometimes the road to greatness goes through complete disaster, and Joseph's Monaco experience was exactly that. In the Monaco 110-meter hurdles Diamond League meeting, Joseph clipped a hurdle badly. His race was over. In the post-race interview, his disappointment was obvious. He said,
I don't know what happened, but to clip a hurdle like that, I mean, game's over, especially, competing on a stage like that.
The psychological impact was significant. Joseph explained,
it's disappointing because, you come out with these guys and you know the race is going to be fast, it's going to be fun. And obviously you're trying to compete with them guys and gain some experience for World Championships.
But instead of dwelling on the mistake, Joseph focused on the next opportunity. He had another race coming up in Lucerne just days later.
On a stage like that. Luckily, I'll be running this Tuesday again in Lucerne. So I guess I'll just go back and try to, calm down, get some good sleep, and show what I can do this Tuesday.
How much impact does that have?
This mindset separated Joseph from many athletes. Rather than letting the Monaco disaster define him, he used it as motivation. "I'd rather make those kind of mistakes here than in Tokyo," he said, referring to the upcoming World Championships. His mother's advice rang in his ears. If you have the chance to run fast, just go fast. When asked what she might say about the Monaco mishap, Joseph smiled. "I guess she'll tell me to just forget it and focus on the next one." Joseph's 2025 season showed remarkable consistency at the highest level. He won the Diamond League meeting in Rome, becoming the 8th Swiss athlete to triumph in the prestigious series. This victory put Swiss athletics on the global map. 2 weeks later in Paris, Joseph delivered another stunning performance. He won his preliminary heat in 13.09 seconds, then improved to 13.07 seconds in the final with a tailwind of 1.1 meters per second. This equaled his national record from 2023. The quality of the field made this achievement even more impressive. Joseph finished third, but look at who he beat. Olympic champion and 3-time world champion Grant Holloway finished 5th with 13.11 seconds. Joseph had already defeated Holloway in the preliminary heat. Only 2 Americans finished ahead of him, Trey Cunningham at 13.00 and Dylan Beard at 13.02 seconds. This was Joseph's 6th Diamond League podium, and he owed it to another strong finish. His trademark. "To come third in a field like this is nice," Joseph told Swiss television. "It was good experience for what's to come." His focus remained on the World Championships in Tokyo, scheduled for mid-September. The 2025 Spitzenleichtathletic meeting in Lucerne was supposed to be another stepping stone toward Tokyo. Instead, it became the stage for something truly special. The Allmend Stadium was packed with home fans eager to see their hero perform. Joseph didn't disappoint. He clocked 13.07 seconds in the 110-meter hurdles, equaling his Swiss record for the 3rd time in his career. But the time only tells part of the story. The field was absolutely loaded with world-class talent. Joseph's race execution was flawless. He performed better than usual over the first 3 hurdles, then pulled well ahead of his rivals in the second strong section. His post-race comment perfectly captured his racing style. "I have to work hard first before I can get flying." This wasn't a fluke performance. Joseph had now run 13.073 times in his career. In Zurich, 2023, Paris, June 2025, and Lucerne, July 2025. The consistency at this level demonstrated that he had truly arrived as a world-class athlete. Swiss athletics was experiencing something special. A small nation was producing multiple world-class athletes simultaneously. The success wasn't accidental. It was the result of that special motivation Joseph had described. Other Swiss athletes were also shining. Angelika Moser delivered pole vault brilliance, while standout performances came in sprints, throws, and distance races. The World Athletics Continental Tour Bronze meeting showcased Switzerland's depth across multiple events. Joseph's mental approach set him apart from many athletes. When asked about his professional development, he showed remarkable self-awareness. This 18-year-old kid just did what no one thought possible. He stepped onto the track and humiliated Jamaica's top sprinters. Christian Miller, still in high school, ran a blistering 9.93 seconds in the 100 meters, a time so fast it stunned elite Jamaican sprinters who were expected to dominate. But that's exactly what happened when Christian Miller clocked a jaw-dropping 9.93 seconds in the 100 meters, not only a high school record, but a time that sent shockwaves through the global sprinting world. And the most stunning part? He left Jamaica's elite sprinters in the dust. This wasn't just a fast race, it was a statement. Christian Miller is no ordinary high school senior. Born on May 16, 2006, and hailing from St. Johns County, Florida, he attended Creekside High School where he quickly established himself as a sprinting prodigy. In 2023, he clinched the USATF U20 titles in both the 100 meters and 200 meters, clocking 10.06 and 20.51 seconds respectively. His 100-meter time was a junior class record and set a new U18 world record, surpassing Thailand's Purapol Boonson. Miller's fundamentals were already miles ahead of his peers. His talent didn't just lie in raw speed, it was his mechanical polish, race IQ, and poise under pressure that had coaches excited. He trained under a disciplined system that focused not just on speed, but on biomechanics, explosiveness, and racing strategy, the full package. But even with these accolades, nothing could have prepared the track world for what he'd unleash in 2024. On April 20th, 2024, at the Pure Athletics Spring Invitational in Claremont, Florida, Miller stunned the world. He started the day by tying his PB with a 10.06 in the heats, the fastest of all the prelims. But in the finals, he exploded out of the blocks and never looked back, clocking a blistering 9.93 seconds under win-legal conditions. This run shattered the American U20 record previously held by Trayvon Bromell, 9.97, and erased the national high school record of 10.00 set by Trentavis Friday in 2014. It also placed him as the third fastest U20 sprinter in world history, behind only Letsile Tebogo of Botswana and Bromell himself. That's not just fast, it's Olympic final territory. The time earned him USATF's Athlete of the Week honors, an acknowledgement that this was more than a personal best, it was a national moment. But this race was about more than just a time. It was about who he beat. In that final, Miller lined up against experienced sprinters from Jamaica, Brandon Hicklin and Michael Campbell. Hicklin had a wind-aided 9.94 to his name, and Campbell had consistently posted sub 10.10 performances. Yet Miller didn't just keep up. He controlled the race from start to finish. His acceleration phase was clean, his transition to top speed seamless, and his form remained relaxed even as others strained. The Jamaican sprinters were left trailing, confused, and visibly stunned. The American teen outclassing Jamaica's veterans. Jamaican sprinters have long been the gold standard in the 100 meters. Bolt, Blake, and Powell made sure of that. When an American teen not only beats but dominates national-level Jamaicans, it raises eyebrows. Miller's run wasn't a fluke. It was a clinic in sprinting, flawless execution, perfect stride rhythm, and composure beyond his years. Only 2 juniors in global history have gone faster. In a race where the top names were supposed to assert their dominance, Christian Miller flipped the narrative. The baton of sprint supremacy wasn't passed, it was snatched. The result not only rewrote record books, it altered perceptions in both the American and Caribbean track circuits. Track analysts and coaches didn't hold back. Social media buzzed with praise. Former sprinters and elite coaches described Miller as a once-in-a-decade phenom. USATF recognized his 9.93 run by naming him Athlete of the Week, a rare honor for a high schooler. Experts highlighted how unusual it is for an 18-year-old to show this level of biomechanical efficiency. From his block clearance to his upright sprinting form, his stride frequency, arm action, and facial relaxation signaled something you only see in elite pros. It wasn't just the time, it was how he ran it. In November 2023, Christian signed a letter of intent to join the University of Georgia. But after the 9.93 bombshell, the landscape changed. In October 2024, he announced that he'd signed a pro contract with Puma, choosing to bypass collegiate track altogether. That decision quickly paid off. In May 2025, Miller competed at the Golden Grand Prix in Tokyo, finishing third with a 10.08. Notably, he beat Christian Coleman, a world champion, in that race. Later that month, he was invited to the prestigious 2025 Grand Slam track event in Philadelphia. His presence at such meets at just 18 is a clear signal that he's not merely chasing potential, he's actualizing it in real time. Christian Miller's rise is about more than one race. It's about a shift in track and field. A reminder that the next sprint king could come from anywhere, even a Florida high school. His 9.93 is not just a record, it's a warning shot to the elite, a signal that tradition doesn't guarantee victory, and with names like Tebogo and Miller rising, the sprinting world is entering a new era. Miller didn't just beat Jamaica's sprinters, he symbolized a changing of the guard. And that's what makes this story even more powerful. Because when a high schooler from Florida can shake the global sprinting hierarchy, the possibilities for the future become endless. Christian Miller didn't just win a race. He shattered expectations, rewrote history, and called out the future of sprinting. From a 10.06 U18 world record to a 9.93 stunner, he's proving that age is just a number and records are just temporary. If you were blown away by this story, smash that like button and subscribe for more powerful stories from the world of track and field. Drop a comment. Is Miller the next great American sprinter? Could he challenge the world record in the coming years? Stay tuned, because this kid is just getting started. Before Bolt, before the lightning strikes and shattered records, there was Asafa Powell, the man who redefined how fast a human could run. He was crowned the fastest man alive, the king of the 100 meters. But then, everything changed. From record-breaking glory to mysterious setbacks, injuries, and missed golden moments, this is the story of Asafa Powell, the sprinter who had everything, except the one thing that mattered most. Asafa Powell was born in Spanish Town, Jamaica, the youngest of 6 sons in a deeply religious household. His parents were both ministers, and the family's discipline was strict but loving. While most kids dreamed of stardom, Asafa had simpler plans. He wanted to be a mechanic. But fate had other ideas. Asafa attended Ewerton Primary and Charlemont High School, where he first began dabbling in track. Initially unimpressive in high school races, it wasn't until coach Stephen Francis discovered him and introduced a rigorous training system, running uphill sprints on a 10% incline, that his talent exploded. With his towering build and freakish natural ability, Powell quickly separated himself from the pack. He clocked 10.50 seconds in the 100 meters by 2001. By 2004, he ran 9.99, then shattered expectations with a 9.87-second run at the Brussels Grand Prix, setting a new Jamaican national record. In a sport measured by milliseconds, Powell was turning heads with ease. On June 14, 2005, at the Olympic Stadium in Athens, the same venue where he had placed 5th in the Olympic final the year before, Powell silenced critics. He ran 100 meters in 9.77 seconds, a new world record. The world watched in awe. Over the next 3 years, Powell wasn't just good, he was otherworldly. He claimed victory after victory on the international circuit, winning 6 Golden League titles, multiple World Athletics final races, and Commonwealth Games gold in 2006. He wasn't just fast, he was historically consistent. Powell broke the 10-second barrier more than 90 times before 2016, a feat no other sprinter had matched. In Zurich and Gateshead, he equaled his world record twice more in 2006. No sprinter had ever combined speed with such reliability. He was, in every sense, the fastest man alive. But Asafa's dominance came with a haunting caveat. When it mattered most, on the world's biggest stages, he stumbled. In the 2004 Olympics, he started strong but faded to 5th. It was disappointing, but he was still young. At the 2007 World Championships in Osaka, all eyes were on Powell. The race started well, but when Tyson Gay surged in the final 40 meters, Powell panicked. He later admitted, "I gave up in the middle of the race. I just stopped running." Critics pounced. Sprinting legend Michael Johnson publicly questioned Powell's mental toughness, pointing out how rare it was for an elite athlete to simply stop competing mid-race. The pressure was real, and Powell's struggles in major finals became a recurring theme. Despite his speed, the gold medals remained out of reach. Then came 2008. A young, lanky Jamaican named Usain Bolt shattered Powell's record in New York with a 9.72. Just months later, at the Beijing Olympics, Bolt ran 9.69, casually slowing down before the finish line. Suddenly, Powell was no longer the fastest man in the world. The spotlight that had once been his now burned brightly on Bolt. Powell still posted incredible performances. He ran 9.72 in Lucerne just weeks after Bolt's Olympic heroics, showing he was still elite. But the world had moved on. Bolt was charisma. Bolt was gold. Powell, once the golden boy, became the quiet workhorse. He continued anchoring relay teams, including the Beijing 4x100-meter team that set a world record. But in the realm of individual greatness, his narrative was slipping away. Injuries began to haunt Powell like a recurring nightmare. 2008 saw him miss much of the season due to pectoral muscle damage. In 2009, he injured his ankle and pulled up during the Penn relays. By 2012, the cycle was cruelly familiar. After a strong early season, Powell entered the London Olympics full of hope, but in the final, disaster struck again. His groin gave out. He slowed dramatically and finished last.